Okay, everyone. We are in our workbooks on page 266. We are going to solve questions 2, 6, 9, and 11. If you want to circle those right now, you can. If not, we're going to go through them. It's fine. I want you to look at question number 2 first. It says, do the equations 1/5 x plus 2 equals 6 and 1/5 parentheses x plus 2 close parentheses equals 6 represent the same situation? Explain. So I want you to think about this. I want you to solve this problem and see if you think they equal the same or not. Okay, so now that you have tried to figure it out, let's look. So if I'm saying 1/5 x plus 2 equals 6, I'm just going to write that down. 1/5 x plus 2 equals 6. And then I'm going to write my other equation down. 1/5 parentheses x plus 2 close parentheses equals 6. Okay, so these include the same numbers, the same variables, the same answer. But what property am I going to use here in order to simplify this equation? Think back to what we did before break. What property would that be? Okay, let's hope you said distributive. So I'm going to distribute over here. So then 1/5 times x, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to leave it as 1/5 x. 1/5 times 2 is 1 equals 6. Now, let's compare these two equations. Are those the same? No, they're not the same. That's plus 2, that's plus 1. So, do these represent the same equation? No. Distributive property proves the equation to be different. Okay, let's hope you got that. If you did not, let's hope you understand now. Now let's look at number 6. It says Kaylee babysat for 11 hours this week. That was 5 fewer, let's underline it, 5 fewer than 2/3 as many hours as she babysat last week each. So I know the total amount of hours she babysat was 11. So I know that's going to be at the end. Oh, wait, I don't want to tell you that. I know the total hours that she babysat is 11. I know that that was 5 fewer than 2/3 as many hours as she babysat last week, and we're going to use the variable h. So I want you to write an equation to represent the number of hours she babysat each week. Okay, let's hope you came up with an equation. Now, let's look. So I know that my equation is going to be equal to 11. What else do I know? I know that was 5 fewer. If I'm saying 5 fewer, that means there has to be something in front of it. So what is going to go in front of it? So I know something is going to be minus 5. 5 fewer than 2/3 as many hours she babysat last week. So how do I write that? I'm going to write my 2/3 as many hours minus 5 equals 11. I'm done. That should be the equation that I came up with. Okay, now we're going to flip our page, and we are going to be on page 267, and we are looking at question 9. It says, at a graduation dinner, an equal number of guests were seated at each of 3 large tables. 3 large tables. And 7 late arriving guests were seated at a smaller table. 7 were seated at a smaller table. There were 36 guests in all. I'm going to circle my 36, circle what my total is. So I know it's going to be equal to 30. Oh, that's not 36, that's 37. We know it's going to be equal to 37 if n represents the number of people seated at each of the large tables. Okay, so how many large tables are there? There's 3. 7 arrived late. I do not know how many tables. It just says 1 table. 7 were sat at a 1 table. But I'm trying to figure out an equation for how many people were sat at the large tables. So I know 3 times how many large tables are there? 3. How many people are sitting there, I do not know. But it told me that that's an N. It told me that N is going to represent the number of people seated. So I have 3N. Let's make sure you can tell that that's an N. So I have 3N. And then there's 7 extra people. 7 other people are sitting at a small table. Is that going to include a variable? No, it is not going to include a variable. Because why? Because that is 7 people. That does not have anything to do with the large tables. That has nothing to do with my variable. That is just 7 additional people because they arrived late. So there's my equation for number 9. Now let's look at the last one. Let's look at 11. 11 says Mia buys 4 1/5 pounds of plums. The total cost after using a coupon, so if we're using a coupon, we're probably going to think that we're taking money away. Coupon for 55 cents off her entire purchase was a total of $3.23. If C represents the cost of plums in dollars per pound, what equation could represent the situation? I want you guys to solve this now and then type it in. Okay, so let's look. We know that what is my total amount? My total amount that they are spending on these plums is $3.23. Mia is buying 4 1/5 pounds of plums. I'm trying to figure out, C is the cost of plums. I don't know the cost of plums, but I know she bought 4 1/5 pounds of plums, costing C as my amount. And then there is a discount. She has a coupon for 55 cents off. So I'm going to minus 0.55. Make sure that this has a decimal. That is not, we're not subtracting $55. We're subtracting 0.55. And then we get the final answer of $3.23. There is my final equation.